Can a man really die from a broken heart? He had a smile that lit up living rooms for 27 years. He wore the sharpest suits on TV. He played the corporate boss while everyone else played gangsters. But when the cameras cut to black, the silence was heavy. His pain started on day one. His own white mother left him behind because her parents despised the color of his skin. He spent decades building a legacy on the young and the restless. But money cannot buy peace. Here's the deal. The tragedy of Kristoff St. John goes deeper than you think. The 15th of July, 1966, New York City. The summer heat rises off the pavement. A baby cries in a hospital room. This should be the happiest moment in a family history. But the air in the room feels heavy. The baby is Kristoff St. John. His father, Christopher, holds him tight. His father is a black man. His mother is white and Polish. You might think love conquers all, but reality hits hard. His mother came from a family of immigrants. They looked at this beautiful baby boy. They looked at his father. They did not see a grandson. They saw black skin. Hate blinded them. They refused to accept Kristoff. They refused to accept his father. The pressure crushed the family before it even started. Picture this. A mother walks away. She chooses her parents over her own child. Kristoff later said he never really knew her. She vanished like a ghost. His father took the baby and walked out alone. They moved to Bridgeport, Connecticut. Later, they went west to Los Angeles. It was a father and son against the world. But here's the deal. Kristoff took that pain and turned it into power. He looked at the television screen. Back then, black grandmas sat on plastic-covered couches to watch their stories. They watched soap operas, but the faces on screen rarely looked like them. Kristoff changed the game. He joined the cast of The Young and the Restless. He stayed for 27 years. He played Neil Winters. This matters because Hollywood loves to put black men in boxes. They want to see gangsters. They want to see athletes. Kristoff refused the box. He put on a suit. He played a corporate executive. He was educated. He was the boss. He showed the world a black man with power and dignity. He won 10 NAACP Image Awards. He took home 2 Daytime Emmys. He helped make the show #1. He built a legacy out of nothing. He proved his mother's family wrong every single day he appeared on screen. He had fame. He had respect. He had the love of millions. But success is a tricky thing. It shines bright like gold, but it feels cold to the touch. Kristoff spent his life building a perfect world on TV, but real life does not follow a script. His heart was his greatest strength. It made him a star. But soon, that open heart would face a storm that money could not fix. Picture your grandmother's living room. The plastic covers are on the couch. The smell of lunch drifts from the kitchen. It is midday. The house is quiet. But then, the television turns on. The theme music starts. It is time for the stories. They did not call them soap operas. They called them their stories. For a long time, faces like ours were in the background. We were the maids or the drivers. But then, the channel changed. A new wave of talent crashed onto the screen. You might remember the faces. T. Arnold played Zena Brown on Ryan's Hope. Nia Long lit up the screen on Guiding Light. Even Phil Morris and Shamar Moore walked the halls of The Young and the Restless. Vivica A. Fox made her mark on Days of Our Lives. There was even a show called Generations. It tried to tell the story of a black family and a white family side by side. It did not last very long, but it cracked the door open. Kristoff St. John kicked that door down. He walked onto the set of The Young and the Restless. He looked at the script. The character was Neil Winters. And here is the deal. This role was special. Neil Winters was not a criminal. He was not a gangster. He was not a basketball player trying to make it out of the hood. Neil Winters wore a suit. He worked in a high-rise office. He was a corporate executive. He was educated. He was powerful. Kristoff St. John played a man who demanded respect. He showed the world that a black man belongs in the boardroom. He stayed in that role for 27 years. He became the second longest serving black actor in soap opera history. Only James Reynolds from Days of Our Lives stayed longer. The audience fell in love. Moms and aunts across the country set their VCRs. They refused to miss an episode. Kristoff brought the black audience to the show. He helped make The Young and the Restless the #1 drama for years. He acted alongside stars like Victoria Rowell. They were like royalty to the viewers. He was invited into living rooms every single day. He became like a cousin you saw every afternoon. The industry took notice. You cannot ignore greatness for long. Kristoff won 10 NAACP Image Awards. Think about that number, 10. That is a dynasty. He proved that he was a giant in the community. He also earned 2 Daytime Emmy Awards out of 11 nominations. His shelf sagged under the weight of the gold. He had money. He had fame. He had a legacy that most actors only dream about. He had so much more to give. He was getting ready to step behind the camera. He wanted to direct. He wanted to produce. He wanted to control the story. But wait, there's a price for everything. The lights on the stage are bright, but they cast long, dark shadows. Kristoff smiled for the cameras. He signed autographs. He shook hands. He looked like the happiest man in Hollywood. But while the world saw a smile, the shadows were growing. Success can fix your bank account. It can fix your house, but it cannot fix a hole in your soul. The applause was loud, but the silence in his heart was getting louder. A storm was coming. And this time, there was no script to save him. The camera stopped rolling. The studio lights turned off. The applause faded into the walls. Kristoff St. John stood at the top of the mountain. He looked down at a kingdom he helped build. He spent 27 years as Neil Winters. He was the face of success. He was the man who integrated the boardrooms of daytime television. He had the hardware to prove it. 10 NAACP Image Awards sat on his shelf. 2 Daytime Emmy Awards shone under the lights. He had 11 nominations. He was a legend. He was the second longest serving black actor in the history of soap operas. He stood right behind James Reynolds. He was in the history books. But here's the deal. Trophies cannot hug you back. Gold statues cannot dry your tears. The world saw a winner. They saw a man who broke barriers. They saw a pioneer who brought black families to the television screen. He made The Young and the Restless #1. He did it with style. He did it with class. But behind the sharp suits and the bright smile, a storm was brewing. The source material tells us a hard truth. It says he had so much more to give to the world. He was not done yet. He was getting ready to evolve. He wanted to go behind the scenes. He planned to direct. He planned to produce. He wanted to tell the stories from the other side of the lens. He was ready to be the boss in real life, not just on TV. The future looked bright, but the past has a way of grabbing your ankles. You remember the start of his story. You remember the rejection. His own mother's family turned their backs on him because of his skin color. They rejected his father. They rejected him. That kind of pain does not just go away. It hides. It waits. It grows in the dark. Success masks the pain, but it does not cure it. The text says it plain and simple. It is sad the way he died. It was a tragedy. He was young. He was talented. He was loved by millions. But love from strangers is not the same as peace in your own soul. People started to whisper. The news traveled fast. Many people say he died from a broken heart. Think about those words, a broken heart. It sounds like a line from a song. It sounds like a scene from one of his stories. But this was real life. A broken heart is heavy. It presses on your chest. It makes it hard to breathe. It makes the silence in your house sound like a scream. Kristoff carried the weight of the world. He carried the weight of representation. He showed us that a black man could be corporate. He showed us a black man could be educated and powerful. He refused to be a gangster. He refused to be a stereotype. He gave us dignity. But who gave dignity to him? He gave us everything he had. He poured his energy into the character of Neil Winters. For over 40 years, the show has been on the air. For 27 of those years, Kristoff was the anchor. But anchors sink. The tragedy is sudden. One day he is planning his future as a director. He is looking at scripts. He is dreaming of the next chapter. The next day, he is gone. The silence was louder than the applause. He left a hole in the industry. He left a hole in the hearts of fans who grew up watching him. Grandmothers, mothers, and aunts felt like they lost a family member. They watched him grow up on screen. They watched him win, but they could not save him. The man who played the strongest character on TV was fighting a battle no one could see. The gloss of Hollywood is thick. It covers the cracks. It hides the scars. But eventually, the glass shatters. Kristoff St. John changed the game. He opened doors for others. He walked so others could run. But in the end, the price of fame and the weight of a broken heart were too much to pay. The screen went black. And this time, there were no credits to roll. The news hit the internet like a lightning bolt. Phones lit up across the country. Fans scrolled through their timelines. They refused to believe the words on the screen. The headlines were simple. They said, Kristoff St. John was gone. The articles listed his stats. They talked about his 27 years on The Young and the Restless. They counted his 10 NAACP Image Awards. But here is the deal. The news reports felt cold. They treated him like a resume. But in living rooms across America, the feeling was different. It felt personal. Black mothers and grandmothers cried real tears. They did not lose an actor. They lost a family member. They lost Neil Winters. The media focused on the timeline, but the people knew the truth. The source material says it clearly. Many say he died from a broken heart. Fame is a strange beast. It gives you a platform. It gives you millions of eyes watching your every move, but it does not give you a shield against pain. The industry celebrated his smile. They loved his corporate suits. They applauded the ratings he brought in. But when the director yelled cut, the silence was deafening. The world saw a star. But a star burns alone in the dark. We watched him grow up. We watched him win. But we could not watch him heal. The trophies stay on the shelf. The episodes run forever. But the man is gone, and that is a loss that no award can ever fix. Kristoff St. John left the stage too soon, but he left the door wide open. He wore the suit so others could wear the crown. He showed the world that a black man belongs in the boardroom. He refused the stereotypes. He demanded respect. He planned to direct. He planned to lead, but his heart carried a heavy load. The screen is dark now. The set is quiet, but his light shines in every actor who follows his path. What is your favorite memory of Neil Winters? Did you watch him with your grandmother? Tell us in the comments below. Some stories end without closure, but dignity doesn't need applause.